Oh dear.
Thank you, Pro Starter, for the raid. Much appreciated.
Mr. Enkidu.
Thank you for the follow.
And
Got a couple of new folks.
Sbjorn006.
Hi, Weirdness. Hi, folks. Welcome.
You want to explain what you're wearing here?
Well, this is my Chrysalis session, so Patches is a member of the Naval Reserves at this time. So I threw together what I had kicking around in my closet that would be vaguely appropriate. Not my usual Patches getup.
So you'll see here, we have 2 empty chairs. To the left and to the right. That is because we are once again here for our second Chrysalis session with just Kate.
Just me.
Mr. Enkidu, best time for your first 2. Excellent timing, I would agree. I should point out that the Chronicle that you are watching, this is a Chrysalis session, but we've played 56 sessions of this Chronicle so far. All of it available for watching either or reading the synopses. But yeah, this is a good time to be tuning in because you do not need to know anything
Nope.
in order to understand what this one-on-one session is gonna be. Bling. Why is it bling? No, that's why.
Because you're too popular.
No, it's because it's reminding us that we have our Twitch meetup on Friday.
I've got to go straight from work.
So, folks, if you have any questions for Kate at this point, now's the time to throw it down there. Saying hi to everybody. Don't have any mods in right now, so if you guys want to go wild, now's the time.
We can still use the banhammer though, so don't go too wild.
Well, you can't. Well, I guess you can. But yeah, so we're here. How does it feel to know that you're about to start the journey properly now? It's not like you haven't been playing for over 150 hours of this.
Yep. It's neat. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to discover the official origin of my character. Despite us having talked about the very vague groundwork for all of our characters' beginnings, yeah, it's different. It's certainly different to go back. It's exciting.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know that everyone here is most likely looking forward to it, or at least looking forward to finding out what we're going to do to start. Got a group going on here, so I guess we're just going to start.
Sure.
Might as well figure out exactly what we're doing. Lo, why are you going wild? That's the last question I'll ask.
Lo gone wild, because you told chat they could go wild.
All right. So, I guess we'll start. It says so on the screen right now. But shapeshifting and howling at the moon, werewolves probably aren't figuring into today's session. Probably not. It's, as you can see on the screen, it is Sunday, January 13th, 2013. And you are actually stationed on a ship. Which ship would that be?
Her Majesty's Canadian ship, Shawinigan. Based out of Halifax, but we're currently on the Arctic Ocean.
And you are a member of the
Canadian Naval Reserves. I hold the rank of Master Seaman. Get used to it, folks. There's probably going to be a lot of that.
A lot of seamen today?
Yeah, a whole boatload.
And what's your name?
Patricia Chambers.
How long have you been a part of the Naval Reserves?
About 4 or 5 years now? Yeah. Let's say 4.
I mean, you're not planning on making a career of the military, are you?
Hence being part of the reserves.
What would you rather be your career at this point?
Architecture, and I have some prospects lined up starting in a few months, so this may be one of my last missions. People have started making jokes about, 2 days till retirement. It's getting a little old by this point, but we've all done that to people as they find other work.
It's a pretty serious mission, though. You were all the way up in the Arctic Ocean.
It's part of the job.
Part of the job.
It's a job. Once you're done your basic training, you take jobs. They're often summer tours, but if you have the freedom and flexibility, they of course need tours at all times of the year.
To give you an idea of what the average temperature is like at this point in time, you're looking at about minus 25.
It's sodding cold.
And for lows, you're looking at like minus 30. Now that's in Celsius, but for Fahrenheit, it's very close to those values. Remember, it's minus 40 where the two meet. So it's pretty frigid. And that's not taking into account A,
Wind chill.
and B,
The water all around, the humidity.
I'm glad that you like catch on to that we're just like, you know what's going on. How long have you been a part of this particular cruise?
Maybe a month or two. Might have probably rolled out. Because it's not always wise to go too far north in the middle of the winter. So my thoughts are that we probably left the port before the inlets and bays would start to freeze over. So probably November. So maybe even, I'd say about 2 months.
About 2 months. And I guess the last question before we start. How are you feeling about everything going on right now?
Things are starting to be a little tense. We're approaching disputed territory. I mean, you can get very specific or very general about what is and is not actually disputed, and where certain other countries' ships may accidentally wander way too far outside of their borders. So we're technically in Canadian we're definitely in Canadian waters, but whether or not other ships might make their way in, it's part of why we're up here.
Her Majesty's Canadian ship Shawinigan is not the largest in the Canadian Navy, not by far. With a ship's complement of approximately 40, the Shawinigan is mostly a patrol ship, meant to ensure the safety and sovereignty of Canadian borders and Canadian waters. It's also a minesweeper ship, and occasionally it's just used to be trotted out to look good. After all, the Canadian military is very well trained, but not very large, not by a long shot, and not nearly as funded as our neighbors to the south.
Oh, we often get leftovers and hand-me-downs from our British friends.
Well, far be it for us to try to compete with the British Navy.
No.
But we're all on the same side.
Indeed.
We all have the
serve
same,
under the same queen.
all of the same majesty.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting today in the mess. Although it would be remiss of me to point out the fact that everybody is feeling a little stir crazy today. In fact, there's at one table a very small, very protracted food fight going on. Not the sort that you'd see in like children's television shows, but just like tiny, every once in a while, just someone's flicking something over at someone else, and it's almost a game of chicken to make sure that you don't raise too much attention in front of the officers. You're sitting down with two other people who are also part of the engineering complement of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ordinary seaman.
New recruit.
Ordinary seaman Jeffries. And ordinary seaman Leduc. Massive cups of coffee and huge sort of coats that are shed while you're sitting in here. It's, it's a heated ship, but knowing that any time that if you're going to have to step out, you're going to want to make sure that that coat is very handy.
Yes.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to get back home.
Yeah, well, we're a long way from home. I know this is not a habit for you yet, but we're all looking forward to it. Anything particular? Have someone back home you're hoping to see?
No, I'm not having that kind of conversation. That's the conversation you have before, the ship sinks and we're all dead.
Yeah, but that's how people actually care about you when you die. They know that you loved someone and someone loved you. That's what makes you a protagonist instead of that dude in the background.
I'm not a protagonist. Not in anybody's story.
Ah, that's because you're an ordinary seaman. Once you climb the ranks, that could change.
I get to be a master seaman.
Yeah, and then eventually a petty officer, and if you decide to go the officer route, you can always change that.
Not me, I work for a living.
You also work here for a living.
No, I don't want to be an officer.
That's fine.
I just don't understand why our first deployment had to be up here. I'm freezing
Someone's
my
got to
ass
do it.
off.
Welcome to Canada's Great White North. There's a fuck ton of it.
I'm from Vancouver.
Yeah, sometimes I forget. Since we've all been out here, I forget just how mild those winters are. Well, now you can call yourself a true Canadian.
Can I?
A little bit of frostbite, it'll be a badge of honor, right? Great Canadian pastime, boasting about how terrible the weather is where you're from, or where you've been.
Chambers! Lieutenant standing in the doorway.
Nice stand.
Just like nobody is really doing official uniform regs right now. Everyone's just like
Yep.
bundled up as much as they can. We're having difficulty with one of the alternators.
One last swig of my coffee and then I head off.
As the lieutenant starts walking you across the deck, the seas around you are relatively calm. It's one of those times where it's actually almost tolerable to be here. Because the sky is clear.
That makes it colder. But it's pretty.
And the water looks like glass. You can see the occasional ice floe far off into the distance. You're too far from anything to see any animals that are there. Kung Fu Fenders, this would actually be off the coast of Labrador.
Yeah.
Or Quebec, actually, would be probably more likely.
Labrador has that whole corner.
So Quebec or Labrador.
Labrador.
Just look up Iqaluit.
It's just that on the display you've got Nova Scotia there.
Oh. What?
Yeah.
What an idiot I am.
You're like, that's where you left port.
Blurp.
That's not where we are.
It's just the Arctic Ocean. Breath just steaming out of everybody's mouth, steaming off your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he points you towards an alternator, and I have no idea. Just Every once in a while, I'm hearing a clunk. I don't like clunks, Chambers.
No, with this temperature, anything in there could be seizing up, and we can't have that, because then we're stuck floating in this ice waste. I'll get to it.
Thanks.
We're, of course, going to have to operate on half power while I'm working on it. Don't want to lose a finger. Or a tool.
I'll let the captain know. Just fast, okay?
Yes, sir.
So how busted is it?
Is that a roll for, like, diagnosis?
Sure, that'll be a perception and crafting. Remember that you're rolling dice based on what you were, not what you will become.
Yep. 2 successes.
This is going to take you the better part of an hour to fix. But you're relatively sure that you can, and you know that you have the parts for it.
Yeah.
However, you're correct. It means that the engines are basically going to be operating at half power while you're fixing it. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it's in such a delicate area that getting other people to help you isn't really going to be all that helpful, other than maybe running some of the other engineers to get you thermoses full of coffee.
Yeah, or to fetch things that are several decks below. As much as the warmth of running up and down would be nice, the sweat would freeze instantaneously.
While your head is just jammed into a tube and your hands are trying to get these things going, you do overhear the captain. This stream is going to be about 2 hours, Lemon. The captain's speaking with one of the lieutenants. No, nothing on the radar. We're just here because Her Majesty wishes us here. And that's all there is to it. But you, while you're working, also hear something else. You hear this low, off-key whistling.
Like a steady tone?
No, like somebody whistling.
Somebody whistling?
What's strange, though, is that it's coming from directly inside the machinery.
Tunk, tunk, tunk.
Doesn't seem to interrupt it at all.
Tunk, 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 tunk.
I mean, maybe the tunks of the world are uniting, but
no,
not here.
No response to the from the whistling.
Chambers!
Clunk. Sir.
ETA.
About another half hour. I know what the problem is. It's just gonna take some finagling.
All right, that's fine. Just get it done.
Sir.
As you continue to work, at one point, the lieutenant approaches you and informs you that now the other alternator is experiencing issues.
Okay. I'll get on that one next, unless you want to call the juniors up. I'm sure I could explain some of this to them.
No, throw them on it. Look, at this point, we're going to have to shut down all engines. Just get us moving again.
Thankfully, calm enough seas for it. You won't be at threat of a lee shore.
We're not in any danger right now,
No.
Chambers. We just need the engines working.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, fixing this alternator, relatively simple. Fixing the other one is not. Not only does that alternator seem to have the same kind of issue as this one does, but the other two didn't exactly do a great job. Unfortunately, now it looks like this is the sort of job that's going to take you 8 hours, well into the evening.
I forgot their names.
Oh, wait, there is no sun. What am I saying? It's the winter time.
Depends how far north we are.
You're in the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, so, there's sun for the first hour I was up there. I happened to be there
that's
right
it.
at noon. Okay. Jeffries, Leduc, your job from here on out is to keep me supplied with heat, caffeine, and any parts that I should require. Because you have bungled this job, and we can talk about it and turn it into a learning opportunity in the future. Right now, I just need to get this done so that we don't all freeze.
I'm so sorry. Pat, I didn't mean to.
No, I know you didn't mean to, so please make sure that you don't leave me freezing, because I know you don't mean to let me freeze.
Please roll 1 die. So, with that, all right. A general alert sounds. You are nowhere near finishing this alternator, but all hands are being asked to move to stations.
I'm going to tighten whatever bolt I was working on, set my tools down in my tool bag, and zip it closed, and tie it off to a pipe nearby, and then get to my station.
Lookouts are pointing, and then you see that there's another ship that somehow is now on the horizon, one that wasn't there and wasn't appearing before. The captain is standing alongside the commander, just at the bow of the ship, and after looking through, turn back, and the captain barks. The ship has no flag. Currently, it's of no nation and is not answering our hails. We project that it's going to enter Canadian waters in about 30 minutes. Chambers. The alternator.
Estimate another however many hours are left.
You're back on that. We need
Sir.
as much power as we can get, and we need it fast. If they decide that they're going to make a run for it, we have to be able to give chase.
Yes, sir.
Everybody else, keep an eye on this. I don't want to engage if we don't have to. But as soon as you start heading back, you can see that the ship is coming about and is starting to cruise directly towards this one.
I'm gonna hail the closest officer and ask permission for Jeffries or Leduc to be put at my disposal to fetch things to speed up the process.
You can have both for all I care.
Thank you,
They're
sir.
engineers. What else are they going to do?
Batten the hatches. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
The HMS Shawinigan, Kung Fu Fenris,
is a Kingston-class ship.
It's a little over 55 meters long.
Yeah. Methodiel pulled up the deets.
Yeah, there you go, Methodiel. Methodiel gets 2 cool points.
Is that like 2 motes?
I have no idea. Oh, I can't even do it using the bot. That doesn't
You have
work.
to talk to the bot, not as the bot. What?
Something's wrong. I can feel it.
Yep. And our job is to focus and get this done so that we can prevent things from getting more wrong.
We're like 5 hours before we can actually get this thing fixed.
Yep, but we just have to trust in the other members of our crew to, I don't know, convince them to hang around and not fight us for 5 hours. maybe 4.5 if you guys stop putting your hands in your pockets and where I need them.
You hear the radios crackling around you, various different crew members who are getting status updates. Until one of them says that according to some intelligence that they've just managed to get a hold of, these may be drug runners. It's really not a good place for drug running, though.
No.
I mean, the Arctic Ocean is not an easy ocean to negotiate anyway.
Yeah, but it is nice and empty.
Do you think it's drug runners? I don't think so. I don't think there's any way.
Yeah. Usually, drugs come from the south. Unless Russia's decided to get into it. Or Greenland. Or the Finns.
I'm not firing on any Finns.
What are they gonna do? Sell birch bark. Latest craze, bath salts. Whatever.
You hear that whistling again?
You guys hear that?
Hear what? I hear Leduc pissing his pants is what I hear. And you hear while your head's in the tunnel some shoving on the outside.
Children?
Whistling is there, and it's a tune you could swear you recognize, but it's just on the outside of your memory's reach.
What connects below this? Obviously, other than the engines and propellers. Before you give me that smart-ass answer.
It just connects to the engine. What is this, a test?
Yes, it's a test. I want one of you to go down directly below us and report on what you see and or hear.
Okay. Jeffries leaves. And then over your radio, I don't hear anything. The engine's off. Should I be listening for something?
Yep.
Care to make more clear what I'm looking for, Master Seaman?
A whistling of some sort. Might be a crack in the pipe somewhere.
But even as you say it, this couldn't possibly just be a crack in the
No,
pipe.
I know.
This is a definite tune.
Yep. I don't want to scare the children about the potential for someone completely ignoring their duty or having found their way aboard. Jeffries?
Yeah?
Find me the bosun.
He leaves. You're alone now.
Oh, that was to
Oh,
Jeffries,
sorry, you
who's
said it to
downstairs,
Jeffries.
yeah.
Okay, but I can't listen down here and find the bosun at the same time.
Yes, I know. Go find the bosun, please, and thank you.
You don't have to be so hard on him.
The military works in orders, not in polite requests. Officers don't give you please and thank you. They just tell you what to do and expect you to roll over and do it.
Yeah, but you're not an officer.
No, I'm not, which is why I'm saying please and thank you.
Although you can't necessarily see that.
And get a sense of it. You ever seen combat?
No.
Didn't think so, being crash commission.
We weren't supposed to see combat here either.
No, but that is always a potentiality when you're anywhere, I suppose, as a member of the armed forces.
Have you seen any potentiality combat?
No. There have been a few tense moments, but I'm sure that's all this will amount to as well. Just want to make sure that you will keep a level head on your shoulders, because I don't want you getting hurt.
Trust me. I'm not gonna get...
I'm like crouched, but I turn.
It's unfortunately the last thing that Leduc ever says. When you turn around, you see that there's now a rather large hole in the side of his head, and he's pitching forward onto the deck. And that's when you hear people shouting, "Sniper! Sniper!"
I'm going to take cover based on the entry wound location.
You start hearing, "Hard astern! Full power, let's go!"
Full power is half power, but we can move at least.
You hear another crack and another crack out over the ocean now that your head's out of the tube. So far, no one else is being hit.
I assume people are telling people to get down and behind cover. Well, it's harder to judge where it's coming from as the ship turns. I'm going to try to get my bearings and keep myself shielded against the bulkhead that I was working near.
This was a shakedown cruise. Most of the people on board right now are probably on their
They're
first.
pretty green.
So there's a certain amount of panic that's rising on this ship. I mean, not a huge amount. This is
No.
still a
I've still been through basic. I know
it's
there's
still
stuff.
a military operation, but this wasn't meant to happen.
Nope.
Bosun manages to make it to the to his radio. What do you want, Chambers?
There was whistling I could hear from within the engine, and not some sort of wind through a crack. It sounded like a person, and I don't think everyone was called to stations. We may have an intruder. But at the moment, I think our primary concern is that exterior.
You're saying that we need to flush a stowaway?
Uncertain, sir. That I requested your attention before the sniper. Orders?
Get your ass out of the line of fire and get us that power.
Sir, I will continue to work, but it is unfortunately several hours more work.
We don't have several hours.
I'm not a magician, sir. I am sorry. I am doing my best. We're going to have to continue operating on partial power. I'll get back to it. My radio is on. Over.
There's just no way that this thing's going to start working in that amount of time.
Until I'm
And
told otherwise.
the more that you stay out here, you're going to be exposed.
I have my orders. I'm going to do my best to keep myself as covered as possible. I have to do what I'm told. It's for the sake of everyone on board this ship. If my training is that, if everyone can get away and it costs me damage or death, that is my duty.
Another shot takes out the flood lamp that's currently illuminating the tube that you're in. You're plunged into darkness, and now all you can experience is the occasional sound of a shot, occasional shouts from the captain or the first mate, and that whistling sound. At this point now, a couple of the Navy reservists are setting up their own rifles. They're lining up just underneath the gunwales on the starboard side of the ship, aiming towards the other one. Their lights have been completely cut, and it's almost impossible to see them except for the occasional muzzle flash.
We know you're in there. We are armed and prepared to flush you out. Come out now, and you'll face less repercussions.
Fuck you.
Need I repeat myself?
Fuck you.
Taking rather light of a tense situation, my friend.
And that's when you hear clunking in the alternator you already fixed.
I'm gonna go over to it.
Roll me your wits crafts. It's wits crafts.
3 successes. What?
Oh, you got an emergency alert system today too, did you? That's 17 months. That's a lot of months. Now you repaired this.
Mm-hmm.
This was a new part that you installed. It was working. And it's just as broken as that other one. It's as broken as what you went to the other one and thought that they fucked it up. And you can hear that the engine that it's attached to is still going, but it's struggling. It may not survive.
You are committing acts of sabotage that is increasing your crimes.
Eat shit.
Kate is amused. It's about what you'll be doing soon enough.
Boom. Boom.
Where are you from?
Whatever other conversation that you have is cut off as the sailors on the side of the boat, just underneath the gunwales, light up the night, firing at this other vessel. And the guns of the ship itself have turned to try and fire and sink the other vessel. But as they start to turn,
Excuse me.
the ship's losing power. These alternators are required to keep that ship going. And the ship's guns are adding too much load to a ship that's already trying to move through the ocean as fast as it can.
I'm gonna...
And that's when, almost on a 3 count, 1, 2, 3, each of the riflemen get hit. They don't all die, but each of them get hit and are now lying back under, clutching at various wounds. One of them on their shoulder, another one's hand has been almost completely blown off. And the third one is trying to keep his jaw from falling too far down.
Intruder confirmed. There's active sabotage going on in our alternatives.
Chambers, what proof do we have of that? We've swept the ship.
The alternator I just fixed has been broken. I heard someone speaking.
I fucked it up. Boom.
This is so above my pay grade.
At the moment, there's now no one even firing on the ships, and the ship's guns are useless.
What are your terms?
Can I have something more? Yeah, something else.
Something more? Something else?
Yeah.
Compared to what?
Yeah, I need to see something. Yep. Fry. need to see something explode.
If you want to make something explode, you can fire. You can help us fire on the enemy. But I'm guessing you are the enemy.
Fuck you.
Jesus fucking Christ.
The captain leaves the bridge and he's headed now down, just trying to keep himself as low as possible. Sliding down across the wet deck, now slick not only with water but also with blood. And he takes one of the rifles, and you see that he leans up and he's trying to see if he can take a shot. But as soon as he lifts his head up, his hat just gets blown directly off and he crouches back down.
Sir, I was going to take 4 hours at least to complete the other alternator, and now this one's been blown as well. I may be of more use to you on the assault.
He, with his foot,
Yeah.
reaches out and he unslings
Yeah.
one of the rifles and then just kicks it across the deck, sliding it towards you.
I'm gonna grab it, take cover, and do my best to move to a position where riflemen weren't beforehand.
So, as you start doing that,
Yeah.
you see the captain is
Yeah.
reloading his rifle. I can provide cover, but I can't see any of them, and they can see us.
Acknowledged. Well, I'm gonna pull out my signal mirror and use it to peek around through my scope. Use it to peek around backwards towards the enemy ship.
So the enemy ship right now looks almost ghost-like. At the moment, it's backlit by a very, very bright moon. So you can still see some forms, but it's very difficult to see any individual person. It's possible, if you weren't constantly being blinded by the red lights that are currently active on the ship itself. It's a fair distance away. Your rifle does have the range, but we're maxing it out here. Mostly, though, because you're pinned down, it'll be difficult for you to get into the position where you can take a shot, not unless you want to invite bullets in towards your head as well. You still hear that damn whistling.
I'm gonna take a moment to where I see some movement, try to figure out exactly where I need to aim, turn and fire off one shot. Drop back and then head back towards the alternators.
All right. That's a dexterity firearms roll, a difficulty of 8.
No successes.
So you know that you got a shot off.
Yeah.
Relatively sure you didn't hit anybody, but it's enough so that you can get back to the alternators. You can hear a bullet ding the tube that you're hiding behind at this point, but that's it.
I want to make something go boom. You fix this, we can make a lot of booms. You fix these alternators, we can go about and bring some serious boom.
Why?
Why?
Why do I do that?
You said you wanted booms. If you've got other requests, let me know.
Yeah, I just want to blow shit up. I'm gonna fuck the world with this. Blow it up.
Yeah, you can blow up a whole ship full of things.
Do you like candy?
Candy's good.
I like lots of candy.
We can also find some candy for you.
Is there any candy here?
I'm sure we can find some.
Tell me where the candy is. Just point at the whistling stops. Well,
He's talking. The fuck? You only get candy if you fix this alternator.
who are you talking to, Chambers?
praying to everything and anything that I can get this alternator fixed, sir.
I need you focused on them right now. And he lifts up and he pulls another couple of shots off. Comes back down.
I do my best to fire off a couple more shots then.
Go for it.
1 success.
So you manage to line up, and just as you see somebody crossing over in the bridge area of the ship, your bullet pierces the glass and shatters it.
Nice.
Person behind it's still okay, but you now have a clear shot.
Mm.
We need to get them scared enough that they're going to go on the run.
Yes, sir.
The captain continues to provide cover fire for you.
1 success.
Now you hit the person on the bridge.
I'm going to shift my position slightly as I reload, so that I can aim at least from the other side of the bulkhead, if not from the next bulkhead over.
So as you head towards it, now you hear a second sound. You can still hear that whistling, but now you hear something groaning, something huge. Sea monsters don't really exist in the Arctic Ocean, do they?
Who the fuck did I piss off? What did I do to bring karma down on me like this?
Chambers!
That would be a botch.
Okay. So the next time that you try to shoot the rifle, the ship rolls slightly, and your shot goes low into the water, and that's when you hear the groaning again. And then rising up from out of the ocean, just in this strange, odd haze of it, you see this almost as if like a huge boulder the size of the ship you're on just sort of rolls up and then down between the two ships.
Great. I've got fucking whales pissed off with us, too.
If that's a whale, it's...
The biggest fucking whale I've ever seen. But I've got to make logic of it somehow, so I've got to assume it's some sort of giant northern sperm whale.
Fuck. Captain tosses you his last clip. I need you to take their captain out. I have enough time to protect you for about 5 seconds.
All right, sir. I'll let you know when I've got a shot lined up.
When you, as you're kind of peering over the side and all that, you notice that the ship isn't currently flying a flag, but on the inside of the bridge, you can barely make out the outline of a flag. The flag has 3 bars to it, but because it's so dark, it's difficult to make out.
Vertical or horizontal?
It's hard to tell. The flag may not necessarily be hung correctly.
It's a tricolor flag, sir. Can't make out any more than that. That at least
Last time I
eliminates
checked,
the
Canada
Americans.
wasn't at war with anybody.
Yeah, well,
You ready for the shot?
almost, sir.
Your call.
Timing the roll of the water.
The rule of our ship, the rule of their ship.
Always fire when you're breathing out.
Leveling my breathing. Waiting for them to line up exactly how I need to.
Smoking a cigarette because it works in Metal Gear Solid. Good sniper can hit a cherry a mile. Go ahead.
Now. 2 successes.
So the captain pops up, and the instant that he pops up, and he goes down. But it's enough time for you to get your shot off. And you can confirm your own kill.
I'm going to duck back behind cover. Pull out my radio. Captain is down. I repeat, our captain is down, as is theirs. Please send medical. I'm going to crawl over to him, but knowing that there's fucking nothing I can do, almost certainly.
He's alive.
I have my 1 dot of medicine from basic.
Yep. You can roll it.
Medicine what?
This is just going to be perception medicine.
2 successes.
Hey, there you go. He's alive. The bullet has taken out a chunk of his skull, and he may not want to be moving a whole lot, but he's alive.
I'm going to take his hand. I'm going to clamp it on his head and be like, hold that, sir. I got their captain. We're going to hold that. Medical is on its way up. You stay exactly where you are, sir. I'm sure you know that, but I need to repeat it. This is what I need to do. You're going to keep pressure on that.
That's the captain who made that noise.
Definitely. Mirror.
That same black roll comes up and down, but it isn't interfering with what you're doing at the moment.
Is it creating waves?
No. Maybe it's too far? Maybe the waves aren't enough? That's very strange. The boat doesn't seem to be rocking alongside
Something
it.
that large should set us a rocking. What the fuck? What's the ship up to?
There seems to be some other confusion. You need to keep firing.
Yes, sir. You need to keep holding that. I'm gonna try to make a sense of where people seem to either be like crossing paths most often, or maybe a few people are grouping in an area.
And just
aim
taking
for that.
shots?
Yeah. At this point, whoever I can hit. Okay, cool.
So, ships are Cthulhu's only weakness. As you continue to fire on the ship,
Yeah.
your eyes gradually get more and more accustomed, and you can tell that you're racking up kills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until the other ship, you see that somebody has crawled their way back onto the bridge, and the ship's starting to come about again.
Towards us or away?
Away.
I'm gonna let up.
That shape in the water
Yeah.
rears up, and instead now of a big, massive hump, it's just a head. The head, as it crests the water, just like ice and water cascade off it, and oddly enough, a few fish just like sliding off the cheeks and then falling into the water itself.
What type of head is this?
And as it breaches the water, you see that it's got a very flat top head and a very elongated beak. It's luminescent and green.
Squid-like, though? No?
No, almost like a diplodocus, except of course
I do
they
not
don't
know what
exist.
that is.
It's a dinosaur,
Okay.
but like smooth, like
Okay.
you'd imagine somebody drawing a cartoon dinosaur would look like.
I want to know what a diplodocus is so I know what I'm picturing so I don't ask stupid question. Okay, so like Brontosaur, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not as cool as you.
I don't think that makes me cool. I think that's a dangerous definition of cool.
You've pissed off Nessie.
And then you hear from behind you, echoing, oh shit.
What the fuck?
They're a thing again. They weren't a thing and now they are a thing. Anyway.
Look, I grew up as a kid. When people learn about dinosaurs, they're kids. I also think Pluto is still a planet, even though I know it's not.
It's not.
I know it's not. But when you ask me about the planets, I say there are 10, not 9. Some things stick, and brontosaurs are one of them, so
Wait,
deal with
10?
it. Oh, 9. My very educated mother just served us 9 pizzas. 9. Yeah, you're right. Double dwarf planet. Anyway, Planet X, whatever it's called. Anyway. They're turning tail, sir. I'm going to get
Steady
back to
on.
the engine.
And this thing's neck just starts moving up and up out of the water, and its head is coming closer and closer. No one's reacting to it. By now, somebody has joined you. It's somebody with at least a little bit more medical training than you, and is currently taking care of the captain and the 3 other sailors who are lying on the deck.
Yeah, but it's clear enough for them to actually move around.
And then the commander approaches. Sir, do we give chase? I don't have any engines. Ain't no chasing for you.
Yeah.
And it's just like approaching until you can see that its head big enough that it's taking up your entire field of vision practically, close to the ship, and you can feel its breath rustling your coat back and forth.
I'm checking my head for like indication of like head wounds that I haven't noticed.
No. Okay, so as you start checking your head,
Yeah.
your ears are weird now. Your ears no longer curve to a, curve inwards. They now elongate significantly.
What the fuck? I'm gonna sit with my back against the gunwale.
And then a tongue the size of a Buick just rolls out and slaps on the deck with this wet kind of thud, and it starts groping around left and right.
I'll skitter the fuck away from it.
So as you skitter away, the tongue just wraps itself back up in the mouth, and then you see it turning its head, and then it starts to laugh. And it smiles. Now, when it smiles, it has no teeth. Or at least no teeth that it's showing. And its eyes wrinkle, or its eyebrows wrinkle just a bit. And its eyes are very large, very wide. No one else is reacting to this. No one else can see it. And then you hear, and this thing goes boom, and that thing goes boom, and when everything goes boom, that's when I get my swoop. Soup. Boom. I'm gonna make it fucking explode. Boom.
I'm gonna go back over to the alternator.
Okay.
Soup. I thought you wanted candy.
Fuck you.
I can get you soup and candy. I can get you candy soup.
Eat shit.
Can also give you shit.
And when you say that, you see the alternator turn just a little bit.
Is that what you like, huh? You like shit? Have a big shit-eating grin you want to show me?
Just a little bit more. I'm not doing it. Yeah. I'm not even in the engine anymore. Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you too, kid.
You suck.
How much do I suck, huh? Do I suck the big one?
Chambers, what are you doing?
We need our engine, sir. I'm attempting what you generally call percussive maintenance. I'm also trying cussing maintenance.
Do whatever you have to. Just get it done.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna have to check myself in after this, but at the moment, and I look at like the blood stain where Jeffries went down.
Leduc.
Oh, Leduc went
You
down
sent
because
Jeffries.
Jeffries was below. You're right.
Yeah.
Where Leduc went down.
Oh, dude, he crossed his name out? Harsh.
Yeah,
Super harsh.
so harsh. I'm the best they've got, even if I'm sincerely concussed. So, shithead. You like blowing things up? You like telling people you eat shit? What's your favorite type of shit to eat?
And the alternator
Okay.
starts to spin. And then
You like when I talk dirty to you, huh?
sitting just at your foot, you see this tiny little, almost like a little devil. He's got very, very long, spindly fingers and a nose that's crooked up and beady little eyes, completely black. He looks up. It's not even me.
You're gonna
Shit.
pick it up by the scruff of its neck.
So when you reach down, you pick it up, it just starts swinging, and then the big creature that's still off the side of
Yep.
the ship just starts laughing again.
And who is it if it's not you?
I didn't fix shit.
Yeah? You're gonna walk over to the other engine. Or the other alternator.
Yeah.
What type of shit do you fix?
Oh, shit. Fix nothing. I make stuff blow up. Boom. I'm going to make you blow up. Boom.
Yeah, how are you gonna do that? You seem to have tiny little arms. They're pretty shitty. Fuck you too, kid.
And this alternator starts to clunk.
You like serving bullshit? You like saying you don't fix shit?
Why are you talking to me?
Why wouldn't I talk to you? You've been talking to me. You've been telling me to eat shit.
You're not mad at me. You're mad at the damn enter.
You aren't the one making the engine go boom?
Starts to like swing his hands trying to get free, but like he's also like 3 inches tall and doesn't really do much.
How exactly do you make things go boom, huh? I feel like the only boom you would make would be less than a fart.
Fuck you. That tongue comes out again. And the green face kind of has this like, please?
You want to be fed to that thing? I like gesture the little like.
I'll kill it.
You'll kill it?
Yeah.
How you kill it? Are you poison? Ah.
Yeah, fuck you. And he starts to like beat on your front teeth.
Does he have a tail?
Yeah.
You know, like ever so gently nibble on his tail.
Ow, ow, ow. Hey, cut it out. Yeah,
I need the protein.
no, fuck you.
Fix the fucking engine.
I can't.
Why not?
I can't fix things. I only break things.
Well, then why
Break
did
it.
the other thing
Break
start
it.
working?
Break it, break it, break it, break it, break it.
Break it down?
Break it, break it, break it, break it.
My pockets have Velcro. I'm going to shove them into one of my pockets and Velcro it closed.
Hey! And then you just feel this tiny little banging on your chest as he's starting to like try it, but like there's no way that he's going to get out.
Exactly.
He can't. The tongue comes back up off the deck, and there's this disappointed.
All right, you fucking alternator. I don't know why you like it when I talk about shit, but let's see if I can't fuck you over into working for me.
So you're just going to continually threaten the alternator?
Yeah.
This was going to be another 5 hours of work.
Mm-hmm.
And now the alternator spins up. And you have full power.
Engine seem operational, sir.
How?
Luck, force of will. They're fixed. I'm going to continue to monitor them. We're down an engineer, sir. The Duke got caught in the fire. I'll keep my eye on it. Over.
And that's when the skies light up. Aurora Borealis. At this time of month, at this time of day, localized entirely over the Atlantic Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean, and the Pacific. And as it lights up, you can see that the monster that's just off the side of the ship chooses to sink its head back down. And then as you look around, the sea just seems that much more alive. There's now more luminescent fish that are just streaming through these frigid waters. There's a horizon where you can swear that at one time you just saw ice floes. Now you see small glowing lights.
Like lean on the edge of the boat.
And then when you see your own reflection in the water, pale, with a nose that's slightly longer and ears stretching out to everywhere. But it doesn't seem as different as you once thought it would. Almost familiar.
Open up my pocket.
Tits smell like grease.
And you smell like ass.
He scrambles up to sit on your shoulder.
What's your name?
Jank.
Jank? Because you jank shit up.
Yeah, what's your name?
Patches, because I patch shit up.
Yeah. So like we're janking patches.
Jesus fucking Christ, we are not a team.
Yeah, we're so a team right now.
You know, it's a long way down to that water. Can you swim?
Fuck you.
I'll take that as a no. Bless you.
Well, bless you, you piece of shit. We're gonna be best friends. I'm gonna break shit. You're gonna fix shit so I can break it again.
How about I break your nose? How about you break your nose?
You're new.
No, you're new on the ship.
I've lived on this ship for like 8 years.
Where were you? What were you breaking? Crackers? Is that why the biscuits are always crumbling?
They're better when they're cracked. They're always better when they're cracked. Sometimes I fuck up the oven too. Change the thermostat.
That's why shit's always broken.
This is my turf. It's my home.
You know, if you break everything, there'll be nothing left to break.
Yeah.
Then what will you do?
I'll find you. Jankin' patches. And then they'll be like, oh shit, everything's broken. Patches, fix it. You'll have to be like, oh god damn it, no, fix it. And then we high five afterwards. You're leaning him out over the edge of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a shot, that head comes up and then engulfs your entire arm. And you feel the gumminess close around your biceps. And then from inside you hear, oh shit. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna continue holding on to him.
And then it's the green creature's eyes are just like, please? I'll never break anything again.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. I'll break everything. I'm gonna break your face.
How about you break this thing's teeth?
Doesn't have any teeth.
Right. Maybe because you already broke them?
Just let me out. If you let me out, I'll only break some things.
Can I even pull my arm back?
Yeah, it's pretty slick. So you pull it out.
Yep.
Ooh. I beat it. I beat you. I beat you.
I'm gonna throw him onto its nose, like on top of its muzzle.
You're tossing
Yeah.
it up?
Yeah.
Ah! What the fuck? And it starts to just lower, and then it flicks its head back and just unhinges the top of its head. No, 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 no. You can almost swear that it's just giving you the finger as it slides down the tongue. And it closes its head and then turns around and it flicks its tongue out just a little bit against your shoulder. Should be careful, Chambers. The captain, who's being tied down to like a board, these things will kill you.
So sticking your head up, apparently.
Commander steps up. Chambers,
Sir?
the bridge.
Yes,
You
sir.
have a moment.
pitch
To
it
do
out
the
over
military
edge.
drag, just go.
Pitch it. Yeah.
I once watched somebody take a whole cigarette down by crossing a road.
Yeah. No, watching like full, like serious smokers go through a cigarette is intense. They burn through like a quarter of it in one puff.
So you get dragged down into a radio communications room where it's just the commander. He kicks everyone else out and he sits you down. The commander is known as Ferrière. Well liked. Strict for like the first week, and then knows to ease up on the reins enough so that people don't absolutely hate working there.
You're stuck on a ship for months at a time.
Yeah.
You can't be as much of an asshole as in the army.
Listen, I've been in contact. The ship that we were fired upon by, the ship that we engaged, is a national ship.
Sir?
These weren't drug runners.
What does that mean for the remainder of our mission?
With the alternators failing, we're going to have to return to dock.
The alternators are currently in working order.
Can you tell me with absolute certainty that they're not going to fail again?
I can do so sooner than we can return to dock. In 48 hours, I should be able to give you a full report.
We're being relieved by the Edmonton. It's on its way.
Sir.
I'm to inform you, alongside everyone else on this vessel, that there will be no official report.
Yes, sir.
You're to be credited with 5 enemy kills, but you can't tell anyone.
Understood, sir.
We're trying to avoid a war. At the moment, we don't know whether these were foreign nationals who were deciding to play with us or whether they had broken free from their own military. We don't know.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
In the circumstance of it being a purposeful move by a nation,
Go on.
would that change our mission? Will that change our orders?
Our mission is to get you home.
Yes,
All
sir.
of us home.
Yes, sir.
Currently, we're down
Yes, sir. Several.
3 dead. It could have been a lot more.
Yes, sir.
Are you still planning to retire after this?
I think we'll need to do some thinking on that, sir. Hopefully this was just a misunderstanding, and it will mean no change to the needs of our nation.
I need you to stay on duty. I need you to make sure those alternators keep working as we move out of the circle and we return.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a long cruise back to Halifax. We need those engines running.
Absolutely, sir.
Good work, Chambers. You're
Thank you, sir.
dismissed.
I'm wearing a toque. That counts as a hat. I will salute.
He salutes back.
And I make my leave.
As you exit onto the deck, it's clear that there's like a downcast to the crew. And the commander starts doing his best, releasing more rations, makes the cook start, digging into the end of crew supply.
Yeah.
The cook seems bewildered, realizing that for the first time, his oven is calibrated to the correct temperature.
Sorry, Jank.
When you finally cruise back into harbor, you're immediately whisked away into a military building just off the harbor front.
HMCS Donnacona. Nope, that's in Montreal. HMCS Scotian. That's the base.
You're debriefed. You're to be given a promotion. You are now a petty officer 2nd class. You're also to be given a bonus due to hazard pay, and a second bonus that smells suspiciously like hush money. But it's going to be enough to pay off your student loans.
I always thought it was a little frustrating that the engineers don't always pay for their tuition. There's a specific line that she's part of. It's not officery enough for them. Now, after how I reacted to open combat rather than long-distance sniping, not quite sure I'm suited for continued duty.
You can tell that to the Commodore. She's on her way down.
That was more of a to myself thing, but sure. Yes. Yes, sir.
When the door opens up, the Commodore walks in. The first thing that you notice about her is that she doesn't look the same way that you remember her either. And what's also strange is that you can now tell that underneath her uniform, she's wearing some kind of... I mean, it's impossible. Like, why would she be wearing a diving suit underneath her uniform?
I'm a little
She's
late in my
carrying a
salute.
box. She reaches up and she pulls the cord out of the camera in the room and sits down across from you.
Commodore?
Chambers, I was wondering when you were going to tell us about the sea monster.
I assume that I was concussed in some way. I did hit my head earlier in the day working on the alternators.
Are you in a habit of visioning very large creatures while you're concussed, Chambers?
No, sir.
Ma'am.
Do we use ma'am? Okay.
I don't actually know.
I'm using the royal way.
Just sir. Go for it.
Yeah. Sir is gender neutral in my book. Thanks, Star Trek.
She pushes the box across the table. And inside, there's a tiny little desk, the tiny chair, and a tiny, even tinier little like accountant's lamp on it with one of those calculators with the pull tab, almost like for a doll's house. There's a little fern off to one side. There's a rug underneath. And sitting at the desk, looking up at you.
Whoa, sorry. Ooh, moved all my muscles the wrong way. Sorry about that. Yep.
Is a tiny little devilish figure with its finger up. Hey, dickhead.
An accountant?
I'm not an accountant. Boom. And then the Commodore just says, shh, it's all right. He's an annoying little snot.
He lives in this box.
He lives on the Shawinigan.
In order to keep ordinary seamen busy?
No, he's a pain in the ass, and I think you've managed to teach him a lesson. When he escaped the monster, he managed to get back on board, and he waited so that he could talk to me, thinking that maybe I might be able to save his life from you.
Is he mine now?
No.
Good.
No,
Sure.
seriously, we're like Jank and Patches.
Clunk.
Patches?
He was jank and he janked stuff up. I was engaging in witty rapport. Seemed to work on the engines.
You've got a lot to learn, I think.
Yes, I do.
Where do you live, Patches?
My family's in Montreal.
There's someone who I want you to meet there.
Someone at the Donnacona.
No. And she scribbles out an address and a name, and she slides it across the table to you. He's crankier than you, but I think he might be able to help you, and he owes me a favor.
It's very kind of you.
Tell him Layla sent you. I'll be honest with you. We're going to be sorry to lose you around here. But people don't bloom this late in life without making a few changes.
I have an opportunity back in Montreal. Architecture. It's not engineering, but it's a little more to my taste.
Who am I to stop you from creating? I'll stop you from creating.
I knock on the
Ow! Fuck. Goddamn.
lid.
My fern! And then you hear little scraping sounds, and as it's dumping the earth back in the little pot.
He'll be returned to the Shawinigan.
He's going to learn to behave himself. So what he's going to do right now, he's going to spend some time here in the brig. And then we'll see.
What's the name of that sea monster?
Oh, sea monster? Sometimes she likes to leave her home and goes traveling. But don't tell anyone.
That whole mission is classified, sir. That's my understanding.
The mission was to check on her, to make sure that she was all right. I didn't anticipate that there would be outside interference.
Does that have any connection to her? Off the record?
No. We think it's bad luck. You distinguished yourself, though. That's to be commended. But I don't want you to be a hero. Not right now. I don't want any attention on you any more than necessary.
I have the military to thank for my training. I was solely doing my duty as best I could.
It's nice of you to say. At the same time, 37 souls were saved on that ship because of you.
Look at the paper.
Inside is an address on St. Catherine Street, in Montreal, Westmount Square, floor 13.
Some fancy accountant, I suppose I'm gonna meet.
No. No.
No, I'm sure there are other officials working in Westmount Square. I'll do my best to dress accordingly. I'm sure salt and peppers wouldn't be appropriate in civilian life.
I think your fashion choice might change a little bit over the next little bit. But we'll see. And she salutes you.
I take that as my dismissal.
Take me with you.
I flip his box upside down.
Ah, fuck! My fern!
And I leave without him.
Good sailing.
May the waters be calm.
You do eventually head back to Montreal.
I do.
And I'm not sure how long it takes Patches to check up on that address. After all, there's a lot of sleeping to be done. Now that you're once again part of civilian life.
Yeah, sleeping at regular hours.
The man inside that building who lives at that address is not an accountant. And honestly, for the first year or two of knowing him, he doesn't really even care very much for you to spend time in that building. But it changes one day when he asks you to look after his freehold. And a surprise waiting in the dungeon. Two down, one to go. No, there's no first meeting with Zister. You were detailing her Chrysalis, not anything else. Not today. Any questions?
You told Scott that some characters were still alive. Is Layla still around?
Yes.
Cool.
She is now an admiral,
Oh, fuck yes.
and you still have access to her private email.
Nice.
However, her focusing more on the Canadian military means that she spends very little time
Yeah.
in any kind of court, but she's around. Escalating? No one needs to worry about Sophia. Her Chrysalis is probably just going to be some, like super happy fun time. Everything's glorious and wonderful
She's just
and neat.
gonna be like at a music recital, and then her music's gonna be extra pretty, and then, she's gonna end up with pink hair instead of regular hair.
I mean, what kind of a storyteller do you take me for?
God.
Right? Nothing bad ever happens to my
No.
characters.
God, Sophia's just gonna, go swimming, and the water will be slightly sparklier. And then she'll go home and
Oh,
be
slightly
happier. I mean, everything sparkles around her already. She already farted rainbows. Just born that way, baby.
Are you streaming tomorrow?
I do intend to. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Continuing the game called Not Tonight. I feel like I'm getting close to the end, but honestly, I'm not sure. So tune in and find out. It's a great game. I quite enjoy it. It's getting tough. Friday, I believe we can expect some punchy. Saturday, Liz and I will be continuing Gemini Rue. And Sunday, we will be back here, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
If you're new here, and there's a bunch of you, you can find synopses of all of the sessions with all 3 of the players or the VODs at rpgclinic.com. You can also find our Exalted game.
Mm-hmm.
Not this Sunday, but next Sunday will officially exceed the number of Exalted episodes.
If you count all our bonus episodes, we've already done so, but
Sure,
yes.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's happening. And if at one point we were up to 60 Kung Fu Fenris, I don't know why, but we were.
Hosts and stuff.
Appreciate it, Lemon Eater. So rpgclinic.com, you'll be able to see it. You can catch it from the beginning. Forgive our tech. We get better as time goes on, and we still intend to. There's still a second camera on its way here. And those cameras were made possible thanks to you. Thank you so much for your marathon donations. You can catch that marathon still. That's What If Wednesday down, 2 Chrysalis sessions down. That's 1 more Chrysalis session, and we've got a one-shot. And, of course, the podcasts are on their way. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to the mods, wherever they may be. We'll see. But for now, it's... We'll see you next time.
Bye.